Ferrari's season is spiraling, and the latest updates blurred out the full extent of their struggles. The SF25 hasn't delivered, strategy calls are under fire, and even Lewis Hamilton is questioning Ferrari's direction. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc is pushing for changes that could make far-reaching changes in the team's balance. Is Ferrari already falling apart, or can they fix this before their season slips away? And how is Hamilton's patience holding up while Leclerc fights for control? So, the first story is, Ferrari's 2025 Formula One season has begun under a cloud of challenges. The SF25 failing to meet expectations. Both drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, have struggled to extract maximum performance, which led to disappointing results. The SF25's performance issues have become increasingly apparent with each race weekend. In qualifying, the car shows a 0.7-second improvement over last year's model, with impressive straight-line speed gains of up to 12 kilometers per hour. However, the car unexpectedly loses 0.4 seconds in medium-speed corners compared to the SF24, rather than gaining the projected 0.3 seconds. This surprising reversal has left the engineering team searching for answers. Perhaps the most concerning thing for Ferrari is the car's thermal management. The SF25 tends to overheat during extended race stints and pushes drivers to manage temperatures rather than push for position. This issue directly contributes to accelerated tire degradation, which has cost them crucial positions in the closing stages of several races this season. Wet weather has exposed further weaknesses in Ferrari's operation. During the Australian Grand Prix downpour, delayed pit stop decisions cost both drivers crucial track positions. "We need to be more reactive," Vasseur admitted after the race, in a rare moment of public self-criticism that reflected the gravity of their strategic shortcomings. Behind the scenes, engineers are working to balance the car's setup to accommodate both drivers' styles. Hamilton's unique approach to corner entry and throttle application differs significantly from Leclerc's. According to analysts, this creates a technical puzzle that has yet to be solved. Team principal Fred Vasseur hasn't shied away from making changes. He has restructured the strategy team's communication protocols and demanded more efficiency in the development pipeline. Yet despite these efforts, the gap to frontrunners McLaren and Red Bull is growing, and the passionate tifosi are concerned about this fact. And just as Ferrari seem to be understanding their problems, rival teams have found another gear in their development race. The pressure mounting on the Maranello outfit is now immense. Will Red's 2025 championship hopes survive? Or will it simply fade into bitter disappointment? Now, moving on to the next story, it's all about Lewis Hamilton's days in red. The Britain's Ferrari move has been one of the most anticipated events in recent F1 history. After a record-breaking career with Mercedes, where he won 7 world championships, many expected his switch to Ferrari to be seamless. However, his debut at the Australian Grand Prix showed that adjusting to the SF25 has been more difficult than expected. He finished 10th, and honestly, it marked his worst season opener since 2009. Ferrari struggled with pace, and Hamilton later admitted that the race had been an opportunity missed. He felt the car had more potential than what was extracted in Melbourne but struggled to build confidence throughout the weekend. While he showed flashes of improvement during qualifying, his race performance suffered from tire degradation and strategic missteps. His radio messages suggested growing frustration with how Ferrari handled major decisions in changing conditions. After the race, team boss Fred Vasseur acknowledged that Ferrari needed to improve real-time strategy execution, a statement that aligned with Hamilton's call for more decisive decision-making. Former drivers and F1 analysts have weighed in on Hamilton's struggles at Ferrari. F1 veteran and commentator Martin Brundle called it disappointing by any metric. Hamilton had spent the winter testing with the SF25 and reportedly had already adapted to Ferrari's simulator work. Some believe that Ferrari's issues are not just about the car itself, but also how Hamilton integrates into the team's structure. In Mercedes, Hamilton had built a decade-long understanding with his engineers and strategists, but at Scuderia, he is still developing a working rhythm with his new race engineer, Riccardo Adami. Ferrari insiders say that Hamilton is pushing for a more aggressive approach to race strategy. He's favoring calls that prioritize track position rather than playing it safe with tire management. Ferrari's reluctance to take bigger risks has been a long-standing criticism, and Hamilton's arrival has already started igniting internal discussions on race day decision-making. And in what many paddock veterans describe as a gigantic shift for the conservative Italian team, Hamilton's influence has reportedly encouraged a complete review of Ferrari's strategic approach. Beyond strategic missteps, Ferrari has also struggled with fundamental car issues. Reports emerged that a serious problem with the SF25 was discovered in simulator sessions following practice in Melbourne. Several analysts believe this may have contributed to Ferrari's struggles during the race, particularly in high-speed corners where Hamilton felt the car lacked stability. Ferrari has since been working on resolving the problem. The team is adjusting the rear suspension setup to improve cornering performance. The SF25's straight-line speed is one of its strengths, but Hamilton has pointed out that its balance in mid-corner transitions remains unpredictable. This inconsistency pushed him to drive more conservatively than usual, which limited his potential. Despite these struggles, Hamilton has remained committed to integrating himself within Ferrari's ecosystem. Immediately after the Australian Grand Prix, he returned to the team's Fiorano training base to review data and work closely with his engineers to find solutions. He has also been trying to immerse himself in Ferrari's culture. The Englishman has been learning Italian to better communicate with the team. These small details indicate that he thinks long-term and wants to make this transition work. However, speculation about his future has already begun. Some question if he would remain at Ferrari beyond 2025 in case the team fails to deliver a championship-contending car. However, the star driver has made it clear that his goal remains an 8th world title. Now, Ferrari will have to prove that it can give him the tools to achieve that. Hamilton's rapport with Leclerc has been another focal point in early discussions about his Ferrari tenure. While both drivers have spoken positively about their working relationship, problems could arise if Ferrari's competitiveness fails to improve. Leclerc has been with Ferrari since 2019. He remains their long-term investment. In fact, he has often been seen as the team's priority for development. Internal dynamics could shift if Hamilton begins to outperform Leclerc or exert too much influence on the team's strategic decisions. For now, both drivers are working together to push Ferrari forward, but history suggests that partnerships between two top-tier drivers rarely remain smooth for long. The media has closely watched Hamilton's body language during interviews. While he remains professional, signs of frustration are creeping in. He repeatedly stated that the SF25 has more performance, but Ferrari must unlock it. His radio communications during races have been analyzed for hints of discontent. Some former drivers suggested that Ferrari's pit wall must adapt to Hamilton's direct communication style. Now, the question is how long that process will take. Will the team improve fast enough to meet his expectations? While speculation about his future continues, the coming races will be crucial in shaping Hamilton's Ferrari career narrative. Right now, he remains focused on adapting to the team and finding solutions to the SF25's weaknesses. Ferrari, in turn, needs to ensure that its latest adjustments bring actual performance gains. The paddock heads to the next race, and an obvious question lingers in the air of Maranello. Has the most successful driver of the modern era made the biggest miscalculation of his career? Or is this merely the problematic beginning of what could become Ferrari's most triumphant chapter? Now, here comes the third story. Charles Leclerc's 2025 Formula One season has begun with a mix of promise and frustration. At the Australian Grand Prix, Ferrari's Golden Boy secured an 8th-place finish, a result that fell short of his and Ferrari's expectations. Leclerc openly acknowledged the challenges, stating, "A lot of work to be done." His media statements reflect the need for improvements in car performance and strategic execution. Leclerc has also been vocal about Ferrari's need to adopt more aggressive strategies to compete effectively with rivals like Red Bull and McLaren. His advocacy for bolder approaches clearly shows his desire to see Ferrari return to its competitive stature this season. Despite these setbacks, Leclerc remains optimistic about the team's direction. Reportedly, he has expressed confidence, claiming Ferrari can address the issues. He also admitted the importance of collaboration between drivers and engineers to unlock the car's full potential. According to analysts, this proactive stance suggests a determination to influence the team's trajectory positively. Overall, Leclerc's start to the 2025 season seemingly speaks of a driver committed to excellence but facing significant challenges. His calls for strategic boldness, adaptation to internal changes, and desire for a car that complements his driving style talk about his determination to succeed. Could Leclerc's insane push for change be the spark Ferrari needs? Or will his frustration lead to an unexpected twist in his future? Ferrari is making adjustments, but are they the right ones, or just desperate attempts to keep up? Hamilton is still searching for confidence in the SF25, while Leclerc demands a more aggressive approach. The pressure is mounting, and patience is running thin. If these issues aren't fixed fast, could Ferrari be in a season-long struggle? Stick around and subscribe to F1 Unleashed. The answers will come soon.